Hi, guys.
Hello.
So my name is Catalina Romo-Martinez, and you are...
Manny Orozco.
Yes. So I grew up in a Hispanic household,
Yeah, me too.
and I have like a lot of those values till this day. And we're very religious in our house. We're Catholic, and we were like the family that like. Did you ever go to Sunday, like not Sunday school, but like?
Yeah, I went to school. I actually lied to one of my classmates about something. I forget what it was, and I was so scared. I thought I was going to go to hell for it.
No.
And it's been my deepest, darkest secret I've kept with me until now.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
What did you lie?
Should probably share that with Jesus though.
Never mind that. Yeah. So, did you go to like a Catholic school? Because I went to Catholic school.
It was a Catholic school, yeah.
What school did you go to?
I forget. This was my time in 63rd, but we're getting too far into my background.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm a little used to conducting the interview.
I know.
But so I went to a public school from kindergarten to 4th grade, and during that time I would still go to CCD in like San Donatos. It was an interesting time in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, I played like the angel in one of the plays. Okay, like it was for real.
I did not partake in any plays.
Really?
No, I watched them though.
Well, I don't know if we had an option, or like if our moms just signed up for us.
I don't know.
Anyways, so we're very close, like my whole family, like grandparents and everything. But I do spend a lot of my time in Mexico. And by like a lot of my time, I say like summers. All of my summers have almost all been in Mexico with my...
Yeah.
Used to have my 2 grandparents out there, but like that. And so yeah, it was always very like a religious background to that.
I am from Southside Chicago. I grew up in a small apartment building. In the basement of that apartment building, on 63rd and some intersection, I forget. And really how my parents approached it was kind of a hands-off thing. I mean, they were lower middle class. They had to work hard for everything. So they were away at work a lot of the time. So it was up to my grandma to like watch me or whatever. So really there was never like when I was making my decisions, it was usually just me, you know, as a kid weighing the options and stuff. And so that's kind of how I've been raised with like complete freedom, even up until now. Like they never really tried to push any of their views or beliefs on me, especially with religion, because they found that I didn't really have a interest in it. So that's kind of how I like have been taught as I've grown up. And so we moved out of that apartment building when I went to the 6th grade, and I went to Worth. And that was a more kind of privileged neighborhood than what I was used to. And so what I figured out was that we were in a privileged neighborhood, and in my household, my parents were typically like voting Democrat. They were liberals, I would say. But that kind of filtered the media that I was in. I'm very mixed. I show Latino, and that's kind of like the culture that I was brought up in. But my mom is white, and she's mixed. She has a Jewish background, but she practices Catholicism, which is very interesting to me. But
how did she get there?
What's up?
Like, how did she get there, if you don't mind me asking?
She took a DNA test. She found out that she's mostly like from a Jewish background, which isn't surprising because she is Polish. So, yeah. And yeah, so I'm very mixed, but I show that like I'm Latino, so.
The way I see it is both sets of grandparents went through the process and they came here legally, right?
Yeah. How long did that take? Do you know?
My grandmother already had her, like my dad's mom, she already had her papers because she had came over here like on vacation or whatever when she was younger, and they fixed her like sus papeles. So when she got married, it's an easier process to get it for your spouse.
Yeah.
And my grandma, my grandpa from my mom's side, they went and they were like, well, you need more paperwork. So they went back, and when they went again with all their paperwork, I can't remember what president it was at the time. My mom just told me which president it was.
A while ago. Could have been Bush, Clinton.
I don't remember. And the news were on, and the second that he like wasn't in office anymore because he like stepped down or whatever, the picture that they had of him, put it upside down. Yeah, and they were like, so everyone in this room is gonna get their sus papeles, like is gonna get them fixed. So it was sort of a lucky moment for them, right?
Oh, okay.
But the moment that both sets of grandparents stepped foot in this country, they've worked.
Yeah.
They like worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, right? And my grandfather, my dad's dad, retired early, and he went back with my grandmother. And I think a few of his siblings, his siblings followed back. But my dad had already had his life here, so he's like, I don't really need to. So he went back to Mexico, started a farm. That's what he's always wanted, and he died, right? Like he died working. So I come from a background of like hard workers. So if you're coming to this country for like a better like life, and you are gonna work your ass off.
I have a very similar experience with my grandparents. So, but the thing is, it sounds like yours was based off of like hard work. Yeah. My grandparents were actually more diplomats. So a little bit about me. My grandpa was actually undocumented technically. For like I remember him telling me a story that when he was like 12 years old, he would walk in sandals by the Texan border selling candy to save up to get, over the border. And so he actually ended up becoming a politician in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
He obviously earned his citizenship before then.
No, he didn't, guys.
No. But yeah, he also was a kind of typically Democrat. So I feel like you could just say it's in my blood. I'm just kidding. No. But what is in my blood is his diplomacy, how he approached a room, because he was like a short 5'5". I'm probably being nice because he's dead, but
oh God, rest in peace.
Yeah. But like 5'5", maybe, like Mexican guy. He's the only one in the room that has brown skin. He's going up against all these rich white dudes and stuff. And he does get elected, and he does help with a lot of reform for the Latino community in the city of Holland. But the thing is, he never really talked politics with me, like ever. It was always just about life. What he instilled in me was actually just values, like being proud of where you come from, and always look at the world through a lens of like opportunity and, like forgiving and all that. And I read some of his speeches, and he wasn't educated. He was very intelligent though. Right. So straightforward, straight to the point. That's how he was. He gave a lot of speeches like for college and stuff. And actually one of his greatest achievements, one that he would routinely gloat about, is that he brought a fountain from Guanajuato, his hometown in Mexico. And they made like a kinship between the cities, Holland and Guanajuato. And Guanajuato basically gifted the city of Holland the fountain to put it in one of their parks. And so it was like a sign of like friendship and a sign of like progress for the Latino community and acceptance for all of that. And I didn't know this until later, Right. Like they kept it like every time we went to that fountain when we were kids, it was like, oh yeah, that's Grandpa's fountain. But we never like asked why, like it's Grandpa's fountain. But like he would always go there. He would always touch it, that kind of thing. Well, in my classrooms, I remember that whole message of just be who you are. Yeah. I love that message. Yeah. It resonates with me. Right. And that sort of shapes how you grow up in your adult life, like be who you are. Yeah. But like adding more layers on top of that, like saying like you can just be other things like right now, I don't agree with that either, Yeah. Like, I just bringing gender into the fold, like it's a social science. Yeah. You learn about it when you're like in middle school, high school kind of thing. Right. You learn about that in sociology. You don't learn about that in first grade, kindergarten. Exactly. Like I don't care, like, and you know,
I feel like maybe you too, like you were sort of introduced to that, again, middle school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no need why these little kids have to know about that. They're going to start growing up to know who they are.
Yeah.
You don't need to shove it down their throats and make them doubt themselves.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, and going back to that, that's like a whole thing. It's like, oh, you're Republicans. Like, you hate gay people. It's like, I don't really care. It's like, I mean, obviously there are some like Republicans that are like, oh my God, right? But like, to me personally, it's not who I am.
Yeah, I don't associate with that crowd really of just like sort of extreme and like anti LGBTQ and all that.
Right.
I don't.
It's just like, I don't really care what you do in your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, and I was talking to my dad about this the other day. I'm like, I don't care what somebody like, what's the right term? Like identifies as?
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I don't care. If you're a good person, you're a good person.
Yeah.
I have nothing against you.
That's human.
And like here in Moraine, there's like a big variety of different people. Like, and you meet a lot of different people.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, we're all human. Mm-hmm. We're all human. We all have emotions.
Yeah.
So if you're a good person with me, I have no issue with that.
I think a little bit about that is there is some kind of a reason why their identity matters. Where we get a little mixed up and where we get uncomfortable is where we have to imagine, okay, this is what you're doing in the bedroom and this is part of your identity now. Like, okay, I don't need to know all of that, but like,
right,
as a person,
some people do try to shove it down.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm like, what? Okay.
But I feel like from a sociological perspective, you kind of have to look at how their identities may have been treated in the past to see why it might be like relevant or even powerful to be expressive about that now. I'm not saying like putting down straight people just because of the fact that they're straight. Right. You know, I'm just saying like it is empowering to see someone like you, like someone that shares your identity or a part of your identity that was subjugated or treated as less than for such a long period of time in human history. It is powerful seeing that succeed, you know?
Yeah.
It's powerful, like it resonates with you as like a human. Like, when it comes to like, maybe you don't listen to a lot of like Latin music, but don't you like seeing a Latino singer succeed in America? Like,
oh yeah,
see them rise above the charts. Like I forget.
Are
what's
you like
his
talking
name?
about Peso Pluma?
Yeah, and
okay.
Bad Bunny or whatever.
Yeah, like Maluma and all those like reggaeton people.
Like yeah, they're from where I'm from, right? Or like, you know what I mean? Like
they're like
they have
some
the
are
same
from
home.
Mexico, some are like from Colombia and all, like Puerto Rico and all that. But it's like, it's very interesting to see like the rise that like they randomly make. And again, it's not like I'm gonna tear you down like, oh, you don't belong here. It's like, I don't care. Your music's good.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's also great to see them come into this melting pot of America. Yeah. That it's great to see them come into here and be successful, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I was telling like Miss Couch and Ryan, it's like, as long as you're a good person and you treat me with respect, I don't care, we're gonna get along. Yeah. We're gonna get along. Because like even on our team, there's a wide variety of different people, and it's like, I think everyone's pretty cool there. Like I don't mind anyone. And the only thing that like I guess not have an issue with, but like we said, like when you're shoving it down the throats, it's like, okay, I get it. But then when people get a little too like descriptive, it's like,
it should just be like, be who you are.
Exactly. You know? In my religion, this isn't okay. Yeah. But putting religion aside, I still think it's not okay. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? The COVID or?
Like just in politics in general, like their views in political world.
Which views are you talking about? Like
for like the abortion, that was one of them. Yeah. That I was like, okay, putting religion aside, sure, that's like a huge sin in like Catholicism, but putting like that aside, me personally, I still think it's bad. But am I gonna go off on somebody because they've done it? No, because who am I?
Me neither. I don't like abortion, but me personally, the way I see it is like it's not really my body. So I think that the way to deal with that issue is to get better sex education. and things like that.
Okay,
and I just don't like abortion personally, but like for me, it's just like, okay, can we explore the other facets of this problem? Right. You know, like why is it happening? Do we want to have a bunch of children out of wedlock? No, we don't. But right. Like, the morality of killing what most people would perceive to be as a child, like that's also something that gets kind of mixed up.
Because everyone has different views on that too.
Yeah, so like,
because to me, I'm like,
let's control what we know, right? We control education.
Because if you go to a big college campus, like they'll always have a Planned Parenthood. Yeah. I'm like, you guys don't see that as an issue? I'm like, maybe you should go to the root of the problem instead of having to like go to that extreme. Mm-hmm. But so like, I've had a lot of like girls or like women say like, well, it's like our body, our choice. And I'm like, yes, it's your body, but the minute that child is conceived, it's a human. There is a heartbeat. Yeah. You get what I'm like?
I sort of get into, this is sounding like a mirror image right here. Like, you know, we came up, you know, in elementary, middle school, whatever, when that first election cycle happened, we had our ways, and then COVID hit, and all of a sudden, you know, explosion, right? But I feel like the way I approach it is like, I do extensive research, like a lot. Like I started to get political around 2020, and because like we all kind of had to.
Yeah. Well, it was like a weird time too. Yeah. Because you also didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, you might as well look at
I was working out in my garage and watching debates, streams, and all that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Getting ripped while getting the news.
Yeah. But that's how I see things. I do my research. I look at a lot of studies, and like what I found is that politics as a whole is just very flawed. I wrote a paper on this.
You did?
Yeah. It's in Velocity, I think.
What is it called? Or like, when was it?
I think it's called Humanity versus Politics. That's my name for it. But it was posted on Velocity. It's View, I think. Like we can fight the human need for power to make real political change. That's what it was.
Is it like anywhere here?
Views. You would go under.
Oh, under Views. Got it.
You should definitely read that.
Yeah, I'll read it.
It shows my personal view on just politics as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't like how it's set up, but typically I do lean left on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's because of like your upbringing, because I do feel like.
Yeah. So. Yeah. This is what I wrote in my POV. Like, I became aware of my bias, like going into politics. My parents were very critical of Obama for a lot of things. They hated Obamacare when it came out. I think everybody hated Obamacare when it came out.
Yeah, for real.
But it ended up being not so bad as time went on.
Yeah.
But I became aware of my bias. And when I became aware of my bias, you know, going to school and all that, and you learn how your brain works, how science works and all this, you start to become aware of like your environment and at home. So I'm like, okay, approaching the political discussion, I always try to ask myself one question, or no, I ask myself three questions. The first one is, how can I be wrong? Like, you know, I have a preconceived set of beliefs. I ask myself, how can I be wrong on this? The second one is, I forgot. How can I be wrong? And like, what is right? What studies can I look at that really aren't up for interpretation, you know? Like, science is science, it's there.
Yeah.
And then 3, how can I prove that I'm right? So a lot of the things about me as a writer, I write arguments and all that. I look for little weaknesses in my points, in my beliefs, to try and see how my argument could be taken down. So I feel like that's a skill that carried over into politics, because I'm always looking for, how can I be wrong, you know?
Yeah.
I'm always like looking for, like, could I be wrong on this? Could I, you know, is it just my confirmation bias, you know? Like, is it things like that? So I'm always trying to learn something new, and you can't learn something new until you kind of get rid of the old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or expand on the old. So that's Yeah. And so when it comes to abortion, I think that the prime determinant of like the prime, determinant of life is consciousness. Because, if I take my heart and replace it with a bionic heart, I'm still me, But if I take my brain and replace it with like some AI chip that's meant to replicate me, am I still me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to me. But the thing is, we haven't decided on that as a society yet. So I feel like there's other ways to deal with it, That's sort of my view on that.
Yeah. It's interesting, actually. First time you had to pump your own gas with your own paycheck?
Yeah, it was a really bad global inflation.
It was,
Yeah. In economics, I took AP economics, like my senior year. After
smart.
that. It was a terrible time.
Oh.
I learned a lot, but it was God, don't ever take AP economics.
I'm over here like, oh, you're smart. He's like, it was horrible.
It was terrible. Like, don't ever do that to yourself. Yeah. But I learned that when like things are shut down, supply chains are kind of just cut off completely. Like what happened in the pandemic, we had a whole thing on the pandemic and AP economics. And so what I learned is that Biden inherited a really bad situation. That's what I had learned, because I was just like, I'm going to the store and it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive, yeah. But what I had learned is that it wasn't necessarily his fault. I didn't want to I put the blame on him immediately. I was one of those people, do you ever go to the gas station and saw those stickers? Like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. No. And I believed that for a time until I took AP economics and I was like, okay, it wasn't his fault. And then he did a few good things like the Inflation Reduction Act and all that. And I was like, okay, now we're starting to see things come down now. Because now you go to pump your gas. Well, at least for me, in my area, it's down to like $2.80.
Okay, yeah. No, not in Palos.
In Palos? Really?
In Palos Park.
What?
Like the Shell on like by the hospital.
Oh yeah, that's probably gonna be expensive.
Yeah. That's where I pump gas at.
What is that?
When did I put last? I can't remember. It was like 3 something.
Yeah. I remember when it was at 4.
Yes.
Like 4.20. Yeah.
And just like to pump a normal gas, it was like what, 100 something.
Yeah, and I put a lot of blame on our leader for that too. But then looking at it from a more holistic point of view, like trying to see every angle of this, it's like, okay, there's a leader that kind of allowed this to happen to our country, that treated the pandemic as if it weren't a pandemic and left office. And now the incumbent leader had to come in and sort of deal with that, the consequences of that. And so that's what shaped me, is what I looked at, what the facts were, what had happened, and I learned from AP economics that thankfully I didn't learn that I could be a boy or a girl in AP economics. I learned what supply chains were, with supply and demand and all that stuff. So yeah, I as much as I hated AP economics, I enjoyed I get a sort of thrill when I took those hard classes, because it's just like, okay, I'm finally challenged, I was I'm sure you probably were too, but like, do you ever get that trope from older people in your life when you're a kid, like you're a gifted child, like, and you're super intelligent and stuff? Yeah. So that fed my ego a lot. But I actually did find that like I was smart. I just had a really good memory. So pretty much all of school up until high school was just memorizing things for me. And then when I got to high school, I had to start studying, which is bad.
I've only started studying this year.
Yeah.
Great.
But to your point that everything was so expensive and still is right now. Thank God that American inflation is on its way down. We're at around 2.4 right now. Yeah. We started out, I think it reached its peak in late 2020, late 2021, early 2022, because I followed this. I'm a nerd.
You're just like this.
It was at 9.4 and it peaked, and it was terrible. Yeah. But I feel like what a lot of like media won't cover was the pandemic affecting the supply chain and just putting all the putting all the blame on Biden. And I thought that was unfair a little bit. So when I saw it coming down, I started to give him more credit. I was like, okay, I saw the things that he and Harris had passed, and I was like, okay, this is getting better. He's righting the ship a little bit. And then, I kind of, towards the end of it, towards right now, I'm like, okay, he did what he could.
Right.
He did a good job.
Right.
I think it's not just that I think he did a good job. He did do a good job. Like, it shows with the stats and all that. And he tried to get a bill passed for the border. And I hold this against him too, that he undid a lot of the Trump executive orders when he first got into office at the border. And I was just like, yeah, there's a lot of people coming in now.
Right.
But he did try to
we're not against it.
Yeah, he did try to get a bill passed.
Yeah.
And I saw that get shot down. And it's just, I can't give him all of the credit, but he deserves some credit, I feel. Mm-hmm. Do you think that too?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say because it's, again, like, it wasn't until this year that I really got into politics.
Yeah.
You've been following it for like years.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, to me, I feel like, okay, he left, like what you said about like the border thing. Mm-hmm. Why'd you undo it?
Yeah.
It's like, what need was there?
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't understand that.
I feel like that's more of like a Democratic policy, like a Democratic Party policy thing.
Yes.
More than Yeah, I'm
like, okay. And then to me, it was like that peak was horrible with inflation. Yeah. And he never really got it down to what is still like, people still like struggle to get groceries. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's still so much, like, baby formula is crazy expensive.
Baby formula's been expensive for a while now.
It has, yeah. And it's like, we got to lower that, you know? And also, I don't know.
Yeah, these things take time, and they're still happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's obviously, it wasn't going to be like overnight. Our gas was going to be $1.50, but like,
over a few years, it came back down to about $2.50.
Not bad.
By me.
Yeah. I'm going to like drive to your gas station to get
putting the Biden sticker back up there.
You're like fighting.
Yeah, he did that.
He did this.
Yeah.
It's going to get like ripped down.
No, he didn't.
Someone's going to write under it. No, he didn't. But anyways, I don't know. It was just like a weird time.
Yeah.
And I don't have like I can't say like he did an amazing job. Because does any president do an amazing job?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I thought during the Trump economy, I was just a kid.
Right. So, and that's why it's hard because like, and then you'll have
it's hard
adults,
to see that. But adults are telling me like, yeah, it was great. And yeah, it was great because he inherited a great economy. Yeah. And to his credit, he didn't do anything. He didn't touch it. He didn't have to. It's great.
Exactly. He didn't have to because everything was perfect, right?
Yeah. And then COVID hit and it's just like, okay, Biden's got to deal with this.
Right. And I think he did a good job of giving us laughs. The whole United States knows he likes ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah. And soda.
Soda.
I didn't ever really make my beliefs known because I was always the person that was like fact-based, like meaning like I tried to be in the center, but like as I've grown up, I realized like I am to the left on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So really based on my political beliefs, no, not really.
Oh, okay.
Like that one encounter with my friends, they just kind of like schooled me. But really, what really kind of affected me was how they treated the topic and not how they treated me. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like, exactly, because I feel like a lot of times, like, it's like, you're friends. We're friends. Why are we arguing about this? And, like, the way, I'm like the same way. I don't make it seem like who I vote for because it's not me. Like, it's not my personality. Like, I'm not going to make it my personality.
Yeah.
And
I hate people that do, by the way.
Right. It's just like, it's your political beliefs. Don't say who you are as a person.
Don't be a fan either. Like people putting on face paint and stuff.
That's crazy.
I find it a little crazy.
Yeah, that is a little crazy. But like,
just bring a picket sign, dude.
A picket sign.
Like, just bring a sign that says like, yeah.
This person. But like, also, if I see somebody else supporting like or like wearing a supportive thing, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yeah, you have the right to believe. And like I was writing in my paper, which is gonna come out the same time that this comes out, and it's like I have friends from different political views, and we're still amazing friends. And what I like about those friendships is that we don't let that get in between us. Like they have views that like obviously to me and my religion are different, but like I'm not gonna treat you differently because
this is a great way to see politics.
Right.
I think.
Because like, guess what? You're a good human being. Like your heart is good.
We're trying.
You treat me we're trying.
Yeah.
And if you treat me with respect and with kindness, that's how I'm gonna, I guess, not judge you, but do you get what I'm trying to say?
That's how I will treat you.
Yeah, exactly.
Treat me how you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that completely.
So it's like, I'm not gonna judge you and see if I'm gonna talk to you based off of your political views. That means nothing to me.
I only judge the people wearing face paint.
Okay. That's the only people he judges. Y'all heard it here. Don't wear face paint.
Wear it at a sports event.
I was gonna ask you, what about 4th of July? Are you a hater on that one too?
Oh no, I'll paint my face for 4th of July.
Okay.
I had
a flag?
Yeah. No, not a whole flag.
Not a whole flag.
Maybe just like some red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Like dots everywhere.
America, respect. Dots everywhere.
Yeah.
But so that's like the way. And with this election, like it was crazy the way that people were coming at me, and even like my siblings, like the things that they were like getting in like their DMs. It's like, who cares? It gets to the point that where life gets hard and you have to have fun with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like this past year,
that's where I'm at. Like I'm looking forward to another Trump presidency.
Right. I'm just like, like you said, we were kids, and people are like, oh, you guys weren't like, around like and old enough when he was president last. Like, you're right. I wasn't.
You're right. I wasn't.
That's why I'm excited to see why people are have such hype about this presidency, and why some are like not looking forward to it.
I see a lot of people being actually afraid, because of this culture war thing. It's a culture war thing that they had propagated, in Republican media, and I see it a lot. It's like a culture war thing, and a lot of people who are, racist and hold like hateful values voted for him. So in the media landscape, it's a culture win for them, meaning that they have a power. They have the power. They have a voice now. And so I see a lot of people in those groups, like in me personally, that are afraid that they have like a platform now for hatred and hate speech and all that.
And I just feel like right now, don't jump the gun. Sit back and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let a year pass. Right? It's just like, take a step back. We can't change the outcome anymore.
Yeah.
What's done is done. What's done is done. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where this leads us.
Yeah.
Like, new year, new me.
I'm getting a lot of new content now for me to consume. It's going to be great. I mean, entertainment value, this is going to be great.
After the elections, have you had any like interesting stories happen to you, like, or things that have happened to you?
No. More or less, I've been stronger in my like resolve. I have taken up debates with people. I argue a lot. That's just who I am. I like to argue.
Okay. You're like, it's the thing in me. It's like, I love it. Yeah.
And part of me holds a little bit of resentment for people who just do not engage in the conversation.
Right.
Like people who, because that's a very privileged position to have, to be like, I don't have to, care about this world, like this whole world of politics, when you really should. There are people around you that can be affected. So that was like my whole point of view. So I did post something on my Instagram story, I think, that called those people out. Like, if you are like in support of a candidate, you should hold some of like those values, but also have a seat at the table for a conversation, feel like a lot of those people just sort of run away from it because they don't want to be seen as different. So that's why, like, I really admire you and what you're doing right here. But yeah, I basically argued with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that has also made my my ideas like stronger, I hope. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
What about you?
The day after the election, November, I'm going to be like you, I'm going to give timestamps, okay?
6?
November 6th, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Walked into my class.
Yeah.
And I look on the board.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes. And my professor has all these things. Mind you, highly respected man, right?
Yeah.
All these things about Trump, right? And says, "Good morning, America." You know me, I'm cocky. Yeah. I'm real cocky. And I can't lie and say that I wasn't listening to YMCA. Also, it's a catchy song. Don't, like, come at me. But in general, it's
Please
a catchy song.
Please don't
No, I'm kidding. but I walked in and I was like, yeah, morning, America. Just agreeing with the morning America statement.
Yeah.
Right? I saw that sort of like ticked him off. And I was like, I agreed with your America statement. Whatever. Yeah. But I was like, good, like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I said, yeah, morning, America. That's what I said, right? Because that's what he wrote on there. Mm-hmm. And I sat down. And everyone comes in. Everyone sits down. Nobody's saying anything, right? Because nobody cares. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that we don't care, but you get what I'm saying. Starts bashing. 50 minutes of my class period. Just him. What
class
yelling,
is it? I mean, does the class even matter at that point?
No. It has nothing to do with the class. If this is like a politics class, get it.
Money well spent, right?
Oh, no, but that's like where I got mad because I'm like, my parents aren't paying for this.
Yeah.
Like, why are my parents paying for this? Yeah. And I'm sitting there and he's going at it and going at it and going at it and going at it. And I'm like, I remember sitting there being like, I want to walk out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I literally want to walk out right now. And everyone's just staring at him. I don't know who's right or left. Nobody really cared in that moment because everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do this.
Mm-hmm. And there's no place for that.
No.
Not in the classroom.
And I honestly, I thought about walking out, but this one guy was like covering my exit and I was like, damn. Okay. Mm-hmm. So at the end of his whole homily that he gave for us, he goes, so what do you guys think about? And we're all like just sitting there. We're mature enough to know we're not going to start a fight for no reason.
Yeah, why would anyone say anything?
Exactly. He's like, what are your thoughts on it? And nobody said anything. He goes, oh, you guys don't fucking care? He's like, you guys don't fucking care? That's fucking amazing. You guys don't care about your fucking country. And we're all like, he goes, get out.
Ugh.
He's like, that's all I have for today. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like,
there's no place for that.
No. I'm like, I don't care what side you are. For you to be treating somebody with that disrespect, I won't stand by it. I don't even care if you're Republican treating someone like that.
And I imagine that will probably make you feel like a little bit more of a resolve in your beliefs.
Like, yeah, because in that case, I was like, and I won't lie, in that case, I'm like, oh, I'm the bigger person right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm Republican and I didn't interfere with that. I let you have your moment, but don't do it again because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so wrong the way that he made everyone feel. Because you could feel that in the classroom. Like, you know when you just get the vibe of everyone being, like, uncomfortable?
Yeah. It's like the air is shot out of the room,
exactly.
Right?
I'm like...
Look at me, author.
Look at him, guys. But I just thought it was crazy. I could not believe what had gone down. And I remember I went home, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that is just... I don't necessarily agree with that. I understand the sentiment and the anger that a person might feel.
Exactly.
But dominating a conversation like that gets you nowhere.
You're taking advantage of the position you have with the classroom.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't.
That's why I value debates more. We're on a even ground and stuff, and we argue. And even this is nice.
But why is it hard for people to do this?
Yeah.
There's a part that I don't get. It's like, dude, we have different views. We're chill. We're chilling. Yeah. Who cares, dude? And I left, and then he canceled class the following day. And I was like, well, yeah, should have done it the 6th. Like, well, golly, dude.
Yeah.
And
a few of my professors just canceled class. You know, that's the adult thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I went into my history class, and he literally walked in. Good morning, guys. How's your one day going? Grab the board, starts his discussion.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I was like, beautiful. I'm paying for American history. Thank you.
To me, I feel like a little bit of acknowledgement is like, oh, wow, what a crazy night. You know?
Right. And
like, if I was like, you know, what do you call addressing a class, I'd probably be like, yeah, it was a crazy hectic night.
And then, well, I had Miss Couch's class, my journalism class.
Yeah.
And she walked in. She goes, "How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to share anything?" Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
She goes, "Okay, let's start your class."
Yeah.
I was like, "Another one. Wonderful job."
Yeah, and I know her. She was emotional too.
Exactly. She was, but she didn't let that interfere with her lecture.
Mm-hmm.
We're still cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and be civil like us.